Hello, welcome to the Magic of Awareness. Welcome to my channel. If you are new and seeing me for the first time, you are on a channel that shares discoveries from cutting-edge modern science published by many international sites, one of which is Science Direct, one of the most important in the world for the publication of such research, which I explain in a simple way. You can always find all the links to the scientific documentation in the video descriptions. The formula is very simple. Cutting-edge science has made the discoveries, Science Direct has published them, and on my channel I explain them in a simple way, and also explaining how to incorporate them into daily life, exactly as I have done. I do it, and very gladly too, because I have experienced firsthand what modern science defines as cellular renewal. When you remove the constant stress of cortisol and the bioaccumulation of fluoride from the body, the cells activate a natural process of spontaneous remission. You heard that right? This is what modern science has demonstrated. This allows the organism to return to a state of homeostasis, reversing the course of physical and mental ailments considered chronic, and reactivating our original biological machine. It is possible for everyone and at any age. Modern science has also shown that the majority of the population lives in stress, therefore with high cortisol levels and bioaccumulation of fluoride from an early age, living far below their true biological potential. The vast majority of the world's population lives their entire lives at only 15 to 20% of their true potential. It's like living in a 100-meter house, having a 100 square meter house and only living in 20 square meters at most, just in one room, and you don't even know the rest exists. This is what modern science tells us. This has been published and is still being published on Science Direct. Modern science has also shown that cortisol and fluoride are the determining factors of a weak immune system and the accelerated wear and tear of the organism, consequently of an organism that lives far below its true potential and is very vulnerable to the vast majority of all known physical and mental ailments, with a few exceptions, as we have already seen in the other videos. At the moment, we have 15 billion pathologies of all kinds in the world, divided among the population between 30 and 80 years old, which is 5 billion people. So on average, we have 3 pathologies per person. There are those who have 1, those who have none, and those who have 6. And the determining factors are solely and exclusively excess cortisol and fluoride. In the first video, I explain exactly why 90% of the world's population lives with high cortisol levels and why almost 100% have excess fluoride in their bodies. Watch the video if you haven't already. You can also find it in the video descriptions, Science and Distress. Modern science, however, has fortunately also shown that with low cortisol levels and less fluoride in the body, cells instead activate this natural process of spontaneous remission, which allows every individual at any age to return to their natural biological state, that is, a perfect biological machine. And it also tells us how to do it with simple, natural, and above all, free practices. I personally have incorporated these practices into my daily life. In a few weeks, I completely regenerated myself from ailments considered chronic. Modern science tells us that it is possible for everyone and at any age. It worked for me, and it will probably work for you too. I personally have been reborn. I feel as if I have awakened from a bad dream. Here I want to make a very important clarification. I am not a doctor, I am not a therapist, I am not a scientist. I am just a very intelligent person who has understood the mechanisms of malaise and those of well-being in our organism, demonstrated by cutting-edge science and published on Science Direct, okay? My videos have only and exclusively an informative and educational purpose, based on proven and approved international scientific studies from independent cutting-edge science and on my personal rebirth. They must absolutely not replace treatments or therapies from healthcare professionals, okay? Let this be very clear. Well, having said that, let's see what free natural tool modern science makes available to us to return to being a perfect biological machine. We have already seen conscious breathing in the previous video, which you can find in the Science of Regeneration playlist. Today we are talking about mindful walking. We all breathe and walk every day, but how you do it determines what your biochemical factory produces here and your biochemical factory produces here, and your state of health throughout your life depends on this. But you already know this. Modern science has shown that walking at a normal pace, preferably in nature, in sunlight, or even just in fresh air, perhaps even by changing your route, for at least half an hour, not too slow and not too fast, just at a normal, natural pace, is another true biological miracle. In fact, the simple act of walking causes the brain to produce endorphins and other biochemical substances that are good for our body. It reduces cortisol levels, one of our worst enemies, and contributes to a natural feeling of well-being. It reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, and as you already know, there are almost 1 billion people in the world who suffer from them. It increases creativity and concentration, stimulates positive creativity, and therefore positive thinking, influences the cells and genes of our body, the DNA sequence itself, and reduces deterioration and premature aging. It protects the brain from aging. You heard that right. Walking regularly improves short-term cognitive function and protects the brain from age-related decline. Walking stimulates what is called neurogenesis, which is the growth of new brain cells at any age, something that until recently was considered impossible by the traditional medicine we know. Instead, it is more than possible. As modern science shows us, it is a mathematical certainty. Furthermore, it promotes blood circulation and oxygen supply, which are essential components for the health of the brain and, consequently, the entire body. Modern science has shown that walking is one of the best natural defenses against the deterioration of the body. A walk works miracles, biological ones though. And not only that, this is nothing. Modern science has also shown that it is a healthy and fundamental habit in our life. We know that walking is good for you, but I never imagined it was this good. It has shown that it is a healthy and fundamental habit in the fight against what is defined as a silent pandemic, cortisol. Mindful walking activates a recharging process, hold on tight now, of natural energy. You heard that right. After a half-hour walk, you have more energy. It's as if you were plugging an invisible cord into a natural energy dispenser that recharges you and gives you free natural energy to better face the day, and consequently, less cortisol is produced and levels drop even further. I have just introduced you to the biological miracle that I have incorporated into my daily life, discovered by modern science. Now, how did I do it? How did I manage to incorporate mindful walking into my daily life, having to work, having 2 children, and all the stress that we all have? By doing it every day, regardless of the weather and motivation. Very simple, I gave it absolute priority, just like I did with mindful breathing and all the other things that I will share video after video. I thought I have to do it for my health, because if I am well, I can consequently make the people who love me feel well too. I thought I must do it whatever it takes. I blindly believed in the discoveries of modern science. I thought 100% proven research that is published on such an important site like Science Direct cannot be fake. It's impossible. It is 100% true, even if I had never heard of it before, and when I heard about it for the first time, it seemed incredible to me. It seemed impossible. But it is all absolutely true. Published by official sites, and which, unfortunately, I have never seen on health and wellness programs. I have never seen in any advertisement. I have never seen a news program talk about it. I haven't, maybe you have, but I haven't. So I thought, okay, from today on I'll walk every day as much as I can. I'll wake up earlier in the morning. I invested a bit of time and energy. My investment was repaid with more time, energy, vitality, and more well-being, the best investment of my life. And then I thought, okay, if while I'm doing mindful walking, I walk calmly, peacefully, in the fresh air, under natural light, I get all the benefits of walking. So logically, if I combine it with mindful breathing, I also get the benefits of mindful breathing at the same time. I create a cocktail of health and well-being. Modern science says, yes, it is possible. And I did it. I combined the biological miracles proven by modern science all together in my daily life, investing just a little over an hour of my time. And the results are extraordinary, and every day it gets better and better, and I will share them with everyone. And I am convinced that many people will be able to derive incredible benefits from it, just like I did. In the morning, I wake up earlier and start doing the conscious breathing that you can find in the playlist. Then the conscious walk, even if it rains, even if it was raining. After all, we all have the right clothes and umbrellas at home, right? Then, if I was going to work, I would take the longer route on the train before arriving at my destination. And if I was driving, I would park further away, and I still do the same thing. I walked calm and relaxed, and every time I sped up, the awareness would return that going too fast is not good. It triggers the imminent danger alarm in the brain, therefore the cortisol alarm, as you have already learned from the first video, and I would return, and I would go back to walking calm and relaxed. Furthermore, while I was doing it, I was attentive to my breathing. I breathed calmly and tranquilly, deeply, the whole time. Every time my mind started to wander to the past or the future, I would return to my breathing and focus on my steps. By returning to the present moment, I wasn't wasting useless energy ruminating on the past or worrying about the future, and consequently, I wasn't producing cortisol unnecessarily. After work, the same thing, walking quite a bit, breathing consciously, and consequently producing more nitric oxide. And you have already seen the benefits of the nitric oxide that we produce by breathing in the previous video. I invested a bit of my time, and as I already said, it was repaid to me with more time, energy, vitality, and health. I have more energy now than I did when I was 20. I have been constantly recharging myself with natural energy, and I still do it every day. At the beginning, it was a bit strange. At first, you feel a bit tired. You are atrophied like most of the world's populations because of the comfort we have created for ourselves. Now, however, I have become a real walking addict. I can't go without walking, and it has become something absolutely normal. I understood that movement is fundamental for our health. Health is the most important resource we have, but we no longer give it absolute priority. We prioritize other things, our house, our car, but no longer our health. We no longer prioritize our body, which we push to the limit of its capabilities, and we have accepted the consequences, namely illnesses and physical and mental unwellness, as the norm. But modern science shows us that this is not normal. I walk as much as I can, and I lower my cortisol levels and also enjoy all the benefits just listed. I practice conscious breathing every day and enjoy the benefits it offers us. I turn off the cortisol alarm every time I'm exposed to negativity. So every time I'm exposed to negativity, I turn off the cortisol alarm. And consequently, I spend most of my day in regeneration, repair, and natural maintenance mode for my body. And that is why I have completely regenerated myself from ailments considered absolutely chronic. So what exactly did I do? What happened in my body by practicing walking and conscious breathing simultaneously, also eliminating products with fluoride and eating healthy, using an app for nutritional work, and absolutely avoiding media products like news programs and other programs with high negative content? What happened by using the awareness of everything I just listed for you? I lowered my cortisol levels, I decalcified my pineal gland a bit, I strengthened my immune system, I strengthened my bones, my vital organs, I positively influenced all my cells, including brain cells, the DNA genes, and the DNA sequence itself. My brain produced BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a molecule that stimulates neurogenesis, which is, as I already mentioned, brain cell growth. I slowed down the wear and tear, the premature cellular and cerebral aging of my organism. I turned off and shrank the amygdala, living the day in regeneration, maintenance, and natural repair mode of the organism, restoring its maximum original homeostatic efficiency. This is what modern science tells us and demonstrates. Natural regeneration is accessible to everyone and at any age. This is not roadside esotericism. This is applied modern science. This is high-precision biological engineering. This is the magic of awareness, because only when you are aware of what hurts you can you defend yourself. Only when you are aware of it. So my friend, walk, move. We are biological machines, but we behave like sacks of potatoes. Our ancestors moved, walked, and burned off cortisol. They had to be on alert almost all the time. A wild animal could arrive at any moment. Always with cortisol, with the cortisol alarm active, the danger was imminent. We, on the other hand, or at least the vast majority of the world's population, live with the reptilian brain and consequently the amygdala almost always active due to non-existent worries, due to absorbed, exercised negativity, as we have already seen in the other video. So, predominantly in survival mode, therefore, with high cortisol levels in the modern jungle we have created for ourselves, we move little, we no longer walk. No one has ever truly taught us how to manage stress, how to eliminate fluoride from our bodies. Modern science, on the other hand, tells us, and international sites publish it. And I want to share all these discoveries with everyone, explaining them in a simple way on my channel. It's all very simple. The magic formula to enjoy more health and well-being, to get rid of cortisol and the fluoride that, as modern science explains, irrigates our cells day after day due to our total lack of awareness. Malaise, chronic fatigue, and illnesses become inevitable as the years go by and we age. And the most tragic thing is that the world population, all of us, consider all of this normal, a consequence of aging, but it is not normal. We consider what is normal to be abnormal, and we consider the anomaly of having an organism in constant dysfunction throughout life, with fluoride and cortisol as the main factors, to be normal. The formula is simple. Negativity in all its forms equals cortisol plus fluoride equals survival mode prevailing in life equals malaise. The regeneration formula, positivity in all its forms minus fluoride equals serotonin equals regeneration mode, in fact equals health and well-being. It's mathematical, there's no doubt about it. It's modern science, cutting-edge modern science. That said, however, I wonder, and this is my personal opinion, why do these such important discoveries, which have already existed for years, for quite some time, in independent modern scientific research, struggle to become public knowledge and are not yet included in institutional school educational programs? I ask myself that every day. From my personal point of view, and this is just my personal opinion, this highlights a deep inconsistency in the commercial system in the food and pharmaceutical industry. I believe that often market logic and large multi-billion-dollar business turnovers focus on the sale of industrial products and the subsequent treatment of pathologies rather than investing in original health and the decalcification of our vital organs, which are compromised by an altered epigenetic factor, by the bioaccumulation of substances like fluoride that penetrates most daily consumer products and which we almost cannot do without. And stress, therefore, high cortisol levels, which are, as modern science demonstrates, the determining factor of all known physical and mental disorders, with the exception of a few, as we have already seen, without real awareness on the part of citizens, because there is no information on this. I had no idea that cortisol and fluoride were the determining factor of my physical and mental disorders. I found out. Modern science explained to me how to do it, how to eliminate it from my body. In 2 or 3 months, I completely regenerated myself from everything I had, which was considered chronic. However, this is just my point of view. This is my personal opinion. Then everyone is free to express their own. Well, today you have a lot of information again. You are a little more aware, you have the knowledge. Knowledge is power, as they say, but knowledge without action remains just information. Instead, information in action becomes wisdom. Share these discoveries with whoever you want and become a participant yourself in the fight against what is defined as the greatest pandemic that has ever struck humanity. The greatest unprecedented one, which traps human beings in a life at most, 20% of their true biological potential. Psychophysical malaise has been accepted as normality. It is absolute truth. It's getting worse and worse. Deadly diseases have decreased. Life expectancy has increased. But the incidence of illness has unfortunately increased by 35% compared to the 90s, and the trend is rising. Are we living longer? Yes. Are we dying less from deadly diseases? Yes, but we are getting sick more often. For me, this is not living, this is simply surviving. So I ask you to help me spread this news. All together, all united as human beings, with love, peace, serenity, calm, patience, without stress, and above all, with a lot of positivity and without fluoride. Let's use the regeneration formula to return to being perfect biological machines. It is more than possible, modern science tells us. I am simply showing how I did it. My personal experience, if it worked for me, since we all have the same biological nature, as modern science tells us and as Science Direct publishes, it should work for you too. Well, we have reached the end of the video. Please leave a like, subscribe. It's free for you, but it's very important for me. It helps the channel grow, and the YouTube algorithm will show it to more and more people. I believe we all have the right to receive this information. If you want to support my mission, you can find a Buy Me a Coffee link in the video and channel descriptions. By clicking on it, you can make a small voluntary donation. You can buy me a coffee, which I gladly accept, so I have less stress and can dedicate myself completely to what has become a life mission for me. I thank you in advance. Walk, 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 breathe, 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 eat healthy, and avoid the negativity around you, and you too, within a few months, will surely be a perfect biological machine, exactly as modern science shows us. It was a pleasure as always. See you at the next miracle discovered, or rather rediscovered by modern science. Bye.